The Mermaid's Treasure. In the village of Ojumoko, surrounded by deep forests and winding rivers, lived a man whose name made even wild beasts tremble. His name was Ogundele, the hunter of 1,000 shadows. He had caught every living creature that breathed in the bush. Animals other hunters had only heard in stories. Creatures whispered about under moonlight. From the lion with silver eyes to the two-headed antelope that danced under the baobab, Ogundele had outwitted them all. His hut was filled with horns, skins, teeth, and ancient bones, proof of his unmatched skills. One morning, as the mists still clung to the trees and the birds were just waking the sky, Ogundele strapped on his charms, sharpened his blade, and made his way towards the forest. But before reaching the bush, he stopped at the great river that cut through the land like a blue snake. Unknown to him, a mermaid, one of the Iya Olokun, had swum to the riverbank just moments before, her shimmering skin soaking in the sun. But when she heard footsteps and the rustling of leaves, she slipped silently back into the water, forgetting something. A stone. Not an ordinary stone. It glistened like fire trapped in glass, warm to the touch, and shaped like a heart that once broke and never healed. Ogundele saw it lying there. "Ha!" he said, picking it up. "If this is the only thing I see today, it is enough. I'll keep it as a memory of a quiet day." He tucked it into his bag and returned home when the day was done. That night, he placed it under his bed and went to sleep, not knowing that his life had already begun to change. From that day, his strength doubled. His reflexes were faster than the wind. No charm could touch him. Arrows missed him. Snails broke at his feet. Even stubborn animals bowed their heads when they saw him coming. The villagers whispered, "Is Ogundele still a man or something more?" 5 years passed, and the festival of kingship came again. A great celebration held only once every half decade. People from distant lands gathered at the palace square. The highlight of the festival was the wrestling match between hunters. And the prize? Only the king knew. the drums began. One by one, hunters stepped into the ring. One by one, Ogundele threw them down. Not just with strength, but with something deeper, a fear that seemed to live in his eyes. Even the fiercest warriors backed down. In the end, the king himself stood and declared, Ogundele, you are not just a hunter, you are a lion among men. I give you the hand of my daughter, Princess Arakunrin, and name you Aremo, the king in waiting. Cheers filled the air. The hunter, who lived alone at the edge of the forest, now lived within palace walls. Dressed in fine robes and surrounded by servants, he became head of the king's guard, protector of the kingdom, husband to a queen in waiting. But years passed and no child came. They tried herbs. They visited seers. They made sacrifices at the old shrines. But the answer was always the same. Let go of that which has been blessing you. But what did that mean? Ogundele had nothing to let go. Or so he thought. One afternoon, years later, Ogundele was returning from a patrol with his gods. The sun was low, and the shadows stretched like old men yawning. By the roadside, they saw an old woman struggling with a heavy basket. Will this woman not go and die in peace? Ogundele snapped, already tired. Let her speak now if she's ready for the gods. But the woman raised her tired head and said softly, I have no one, only these bones and this basket. If help will not come, then I will crawl. Something cracked inside him. He got down from his horse, lifted her load, and carried it with his own hands to her crumbling hut. There, she offered him a stool and spoke words that would change his fate. You were told to let go of your blessing, but the blessing was not yours to keep. It was the stone. A gift left behind by the daughter of Olokun. You placed it beneath your bed, and it made you more than a man. Ogundele sat in silence, his heart pounding like a war drum. That night, he returned home, reached beneath his bed, and pulled out the stone. It still shone, still warm. The next day, he rode alone to the riverbank, knelt beside the river, and placed the stone gently where he had first found it. I did not know, he whispered. Forgive me. The river was quiet, but the air felt lighter. 3 weeks later, Princess Arakunrin fell ill. Not from sickness, but from joy. The healer smiled wide. She is with child. The palace erupted. The king wept. The people rejoiced. And 9 months later, a boy was born, strong, healthy, with deep-set eyes that gleamed like the memory of water. They named him Ọmọ Ìyá Ọ̀run, child of the spirit mother. And Ogundele, now older, looked at the boy and whispered, "There are powers in this world that cannot be haunted, only returned."